Hello and welcome to Stammer Run live with me, John. Tonight is a bit of a late one. Tonight it is roughly 9:46. It is absolutely hammering it down outside. If you're here, then thank you so much for being here. There's one singular person here, which is awesome, right? It's cool. So tonight I'm going to be unboxing a new pair of shoes, which is always my favorite time. You know, I love unboxing brand new shoes, irrespective of whether they're terrible shoes or not. And today I picked up a pair. So I went out with kids and we visited the Three Stripes. So let's get started on, let's see what I've got. So Adidas always seem to come up trumps. I don't know if you can see in here. So I wasn't necessarily looking for any one particular shoe as it was, but I was hoping to get some Adidas Pro 3s or some Strungs, but the outlet doesn't really seem to do that. And also as well, what I find really hard is I actually find it really difficult to buy shoes like in the shop. You can't really buy good shoes. You know, I really want to get some shoes. I've got some on order, and I've got some Alpha Fly 3s, so hopefully they will come soon. But until then, I'm kind of having to be stuck with the shop. So went in there today, and this is £150 shoe. I didn't pay £150 for the shoe, and I'd never really seen this shoe before. So what did I get? That should be £150. It's not a Strung. It's not an Adidas Adizero Pro number 3 or 2 even. But in fact, it is a bright orange pair of Solarboost 5. So Solarboost 5M. Now, this is the first time I've taken them out of the box, so I've been saving them all day. You have no idea how much I wanted to take these out all day long and try out this £150 shoe. So I paid £60 from the outlet, which I thought was quite a good price for the shoes. So that's £60. I've checked online. Loads of places these still go for about £100, £120, and on some shops they still go for the full price of £150. So I'd never really I'd heard of these, but I've never really seen them. So for £150, what do you essentially get for £150? So in hand, and again, this really is the first time that I've seen these shoes, picked them out of the box, and I'm not really sure what to make of them for £150. So some shoes you pick up, like an Alpha Fly, like a Vaporfly, like a Saucony shoe, or and they do feel pretty good. So in hand, I'm not saying it feels cheap, but I don't think this upper in hand feels like £150 upper. So it is a gusseted tongue is in the shoe, so that's all right. This is a size 9 shoe. It's about 297 grams. I've got some notes here. So it's 297 grams. It's a 33 mil stack in the heel and 23 mil in the front. It's a concoction of Solarboost. I don't know what it is, but I will make something up on this when I kind of do an in-depth on it. It's got boost, so there's a load of boost in here, and it's boost light. I don't know if you can see that. So it's got boost light. So it has this solar boost in the heel and in this core. So this orange foam that wraps around the shoe and has this core. It's got boost around it. So the whole thing is boost, and it has something called an LEP, which I believe is linear energy progression system, which is a which is a plastic. I think it's an attempt at a sort of, not really a plate as it was, but a sort of progression system like the torsion kind of plates that they had when I was a kid. I remember I had a very similar shoe to this when I was about 10, and it had that torsion plate on there. So this LEP system kind of wraps around, so it's like a cross. So it kind of is in the back there and crosses all the way around, all the way to the front. So the idea is to act like a cage, and basically, from what I've read, this is a half marathon to a marathon shoe. So this is for the long runs. This is definitely not a tempo shoe. This is sort of for your everyday miles, and in fact to race in the shoe as well. So that's what this is kind of for, is for that kind of longer run. Now in hand, it does feel okay. So it's only 300 grams of shoe. Do I think it feels like a premium shoe? It can be a misnomer, because in hand they can feel like a premium shoe, but then as soon as you get them on your foot, actually they feel quite cheap. Very much like the Galaxy 4, which is, as far as I'm concerned, is the worst shoe in the entire world. I've made a video on that shoe, and it's absolutely dreadful. It's one of the worst shoes I've ever put on my feet, and it's absolutely horrendous. And I tried to find it, but it's obviously hiding because it knows how much I detest it. So I am looking forward to taking this shoe out. And as I say, this is a £150 shoe. It doesn't feel like a £150 shoe, I have to say, but when it's on foot, it is a different story. So the outsole on this shoe is rubber completely. The Continental stuff is on the outsole of this shoe, and there is loads of it. So this is a proper grippy shoe. I think this pretty much will be able to go through most stuff, and it is pretty hefty lugs on this shoe. So this does feel like a bit of a heavy shoe. I'm not sure I'd want to do 26.2 miles in this shoe, because it does feel quite heavy, but who knows. So I will make a video on this. I'll put some stats up there, and I'll do all that stuff, and then I'll take it out and see how it feels on foot. I'm looking forward to this one because I've never really paid too much attention to the Solarboost shoe, so I'm looking forward to this shoe. Now there's another pair of shoes that I picked up because they were £40, and sad to say, I've never actually owned a pair of these. I've owned so many other shoes, but I just kind of never really picked them up. And at the time, it was because the reviews on them weren't great. Now, since then, I picked up the Adidas SL. So I'm not a fanboy of three stripes, but it literally is just the outlet is quite close, and their shoes seem to be quite cheap. So it's actually quite cool to test out these cheaper shoes. This, as it transpired, is still on the website now. They still promote this Adidas SL shoe, and this is still going for between £80 and £120. Again, I picked this up for £40. This red, the colorway is still on the website now, and it is on there for, I think, £80. Again, I picked this up for 40. So if you do have an outlet, see if you can get into it. And it is, this is a really good shoe. For £40, you are getting a lot of shoe. There is no carbon plate or rods or TPU rods in the shoe. It is just foam. It's a light strike base of foam, even though it's got light strike pro down here. That's basically just in this core bit here. But saying that, this is still a really good shoe, and if you can pick this up for £40, you are getting a bargain. So the other pair that I picked up, primarily because of the price. I'd never tried the shoe, and the colorway of the shoe. I think this shoe looks absolutely stunning. So this is the Boston 11, and the colorway of this shoe I think it's absolutely beautiful. I actually think this is just an absolute stunning shoe in hand. So this didn't even come in a box. This was on the shelf, and I honestly couldn't believe that this shoe was on the shelf. It seems really, this is a sort of shoe for me in terms of aesthetics and how it looks. I absolutely love this shoe. This looks like an absolute stunning shoe, and I almost do not want to take this out. I will test it out because I've never tried the Boston 11. I've heard some mixed reports on the Boston, and I am really looking forward to the shoe. So this shoe does have, I don't think they're carbon rods. They do look like carbon rods, but I believe they are a plastic composite carbon rod. So they're not true carbon rods. And I think, unlike the Adidas Adizero Pro 3 and 2, where you get these rods in the forefoot, and in this, I don't think you get that plate, but you do get a plate, carbon plate in the heel. So this again is I think this is something like I'm just looking at the stats here. I think this is something like 40 mil in the heel, and I think 31 in the forefoot. Now, it actually does feel like quite a high stacked shoe. They've got this Light Strike Pro, again, very similar to this Adizero SL, which is this Light Strike foam all the way around the shoe. Whereas this one is, and with a Light Strike Pro core, whereas the Light Strike Pro sits on top of the Light Strike here. And I think there's a core as well of this, so there's definitely more of it in this shoe. Combine that with the rods, and this upper does look really, really nice as well. So I'm looking forward to trying these shoes out, actually. So I am looking forward to trying out the Boston 11 and the Solar 5, the Solarboost 5. So these two shoes what I picked up today, and they actually both of these look really, really cool. And I'm really looking forward to trying these out. So as soon as I do, I'll make a video in depth on them both, and I'll let you know my thoughts on the shoes. So today is Saturday and tomorrow is Sunday. So I'd be quite interested to find out the races potentially, or the events that you have on tomorrow. So if there's anybody in the chat now, I'd really love to hear about the races that you have on tomorrow. So I have a half in 2 weeks' time. So the Brentwood half, which is going to be my third time. So I ran my fastest time there of 1:18:40 something, and I'm doing that again this year. Now, due to work constraints and having a family and this, I probably haven't trained as much as I would like. So I had these grand plans to try and beat a 1:18 this year. The half is quite a hilly half, so it's not flat, but it's a very up and down course. It is quite a hard course, and I am not 1:18 fit at all. So again, what I'd love to hear is that if you have any plans, what you do when you don't think you're fit enough. Do you tailor your plan? Do you tailor it on the day, or do you just think heck to it? Do you just absolutely just hammer it and just whatever happens sort of happens? So on the day, I've got 2 weeks. I had all these grand plans, and my grand plans now have to change because I'm not fit enough to do a 1:18. So I've amended my plan, and I'm probably going to look to do a half, probably about a 1:2, hopefully a 1:23. If I come in at 1:25, then that's fine. But I'm kind of looking now to progress from a 1:2, a 1:22, a 1:23, and maybe look to a 1:17 maybe later on at another event in the year. So I'd be really quite interested if you've got events on, to hear what you've done. If you've done one today, awesome. It'd be cool to know your times. Have you been out today? I've been out this evening just before I was on here. I'll let you know more about that and the purpose of that as well. So it'd be really cool just to hear in the comments and the chat about what you've done and what events that you have planned. So as I say, I went out this evening. It was quite a nice one tonight until the rain just come and it's hammered it down. So if you can hear it, it's because I'm in this outside bit, and before it all gets completed, you can basically hear the rain, but the rain has now stopped. So I'm planning now. I'm planning for the half, and what shoes do I plan to wear for my half? So I plan to wear my Hokas. So again, I've done a video on the Hokas. This is the Rocket X2, and I really love this shoe. It's a really comfortable, bouncy upper on the shoe. I can't even tell you how much I love this upper. It really suits how I run, dissipates heat. It gets rid of the heat really, really well. It's got this full carbon plate in here. It's got this great foam. The transition from the midfoot to the forefoot is fantastic. This is just all around an absolutely fantastic shoe. So I'm probably gonna do it in the half I've got in 2 weeks' time. Now, what I wanted to do was give some of the other shoes a chance. So I have a load of shoes there and around me. So a lot of the shoes that I thought, well, instead of trying to buy and spending a ton of money, which pretty much I haven't got, to buy all these new shoes, because whenever you see a shoe, they're always purchased. I always purchase the shoes, and I thought, is there another shoe that I have that I feel that I could run? And considering I'm not as fit as I'm not as fit as I plan to be, is there a shoe that can help me, or is there a shoe that I feel could carry me towards the end when I know that I'm going to get tired? So I've got this Hoka. Now, what I was thinking was, and it's just down here, is I took this Vaporfly 2 on a run again tonight. So I have this issue with the Vaporfly 2 on the basis that, please don't hammer me for this. This is just my humble opinion, that I don't like the Vaporfly 2. I never have. It is a fast shoe. It is still a fast shoe. Now, when I say a fast shoe, the shoe's only as fast as the person in it. So this shoe, whether I'm not fit, is not going to suddenly make me fast. Shoes, I think, are there to marginally gain you into being quick. Shoes do help with your recovery. They do help with your speed. But at the end of the day, if you're not quick enough for the shoe, then the shoe's not necessarily going to make you quicker. Okay, fine, you may get 4%, 5% more from the shoe, but if you're not fit enough for the shoe, there's only so much a shoe can actually do. So even when I've been peak fit, I've just never liked this Vaporfly 2. So I wanted to give it another chance. I've made videos on this shoe, how much I don't like this shoe, and it's not my favorite shoe in the entire world, I have to say. So I decided, to be fair, I've not been in it for a long time, so I thought I'm going to give it a chance before the half, and by some chance to see if it actually would be good and feel different. So I took it out tonight and to see how it performed. So I'm now going to take a look. And again, I've come back from the run. I kind of had an indication on the watch that I have about how it actually went, but I'm just going to live it now, just effectively see how the run was, and now I can tell you how I think it felt. So I'm going to look at my run tonight. So I use Garmin Connect. So I used to be on Strava app. Now, the problem that I found with the Strava app is it's quite good at the start, where you kind of trying to get all these, you're trying to beat all this time and stuff like that. But I just grew to not be a fan of this app, because it seems people are more interested in trying to break like a course bit, and some of the times achieved are absolutely ridiculous. You'd have to be the fastest person in the history of the world to get a lot of these times. And no disrespect, but some of the pictures do not reflect that of an athlete. So I've kind of come away from the Strava whole world, because I just think it promotes, for me anyway, the wrong type of things. It is pretty good for recording the information, but again, the Garmin's good, and you get a free app, and that's just as good. And in fact, I think Garmin is better. So I use Garmin app. So I might go back on Strava, but who knows? So the run today, how did I do in the run today? So this was my speedier run today. So I planned to do, this was the first run of the week, which again, had a busy work week, not really been able to do a lot out there. And today's the first chance that I've had. So I'm still a bit run chest, as it was. So I'm giving you the stats live. So we did this tonight, and okay, so I planned to do a 10K. I got just over 5K out, and I physically had to stop because it was really dark and there was just too many things. So I could have stopped and kind of then continued again, but once I've stopped the watch, I've stopped the watch. I did a cool down mile, so I did do a 10K, but it wasn't a flat one. So 10K tonight in Vaporfly 2. So we did 8.29K, so just over 5 miles. The average pace was 3:46, so that was 31:14 for 8.29K. My overall heart rate was about 153, which is not bad. Which, for the effort, I was trying to do a kind of high-paced effort, so I'm quite pleased with that. So that's not too bad. It's not too high. So from a lap perspective, and I do my lap in miles. So the first mile lap was 6:14 per mile. This is 3:53. Then we did a second lap, which was 5:59, so just dipping under 6 minutes for the mile. Then the third mile was 5:56. Then we did a 6:07, 6:04, and that was for the 5K. So the aim of it was to kind of have an easier start, then kick on a bit, but in mind, not a tempo run. So just kind of trying to ease back on it a little bit, but not too hard. So kind of around my sort of half pace. So when I'm kind of full fitness, I kind of do a rough about 5:55 per mile. So around about that 3:40, 3:35 pace. That's when I'm fit. So I've just trying to do that kind of half pace, and I sort of managed it for the 5 miles, and after that it felt okay. So I was quite pleased with the run overall. And to that end, how do you run? So what have you been out today? Do you like to do, what's your favorite run? Do you like to do like the easy miles where you can just sort of just chill? So I enjoy doing a long run. I never did, because I always felt that I used to have to run everywhere at 100 miles an hour, and had sort of no concept of these easy days. And the facts are that you run slow to run fast. You need to build up your aerobic base effectively. So I now enjoy those longer runs, because you can wear your most comfortable shoes and you can just chill, and I really do enjoy that. But I also still enjoy the really fast paces. I just really enjoy the mix. So how did this Vaporfly 2 feel on foot? Now, there's no doubt that it's a fast shoe. I wasn't going out absolutely smashing it, and I'm still putting in mile wise, under. I'm doing a 5:59, 5:57 mile, and that's not me pushing. That's me doing 50, 60%. That's not me absolutely like hammering it down. So there's no doubt that it's a fast shoe, but it still feels. I just find it still feels dead on foot. When you're flying in the shoe, and this shoe really wants you to keep really good form. This is a shoe that absolute demands perfection. You may think I'm wrong, and please feel free to tell me that I am wrong, or tell me that are there other people out there who don't like the Vaporfly 2, or if there are people out there who do like the Vaporfly 2. Now, I'd be interested to see your times just by comparison, only because I think that the person that would fit the shoe would be kind of someone who's quite quick. I tend to, whenever I run a half or the full marathons, I'm up there with the elites. And when I say that in the broadest terms, the times that I do are technically elite times, but just to be clear, I am not an elite. I am sort of that kind of tail end of the elites, and I only get into the elites because I have a sort of end time, and it'd be really cool if any elites use these, and what sort of times that they achieve in these shoes, because I've seen these elite guys and they are absolutely amazing. They're blasting through half at 110, 108 and 9, and they make it just look so effortless. So I wonder what you guys use. Do you use Vaporfly 2, 3? I'd be quite keen to understand what you use in the shoes as well. So I've given this Vaporfly 2 many chances. Now I'm going to say something controversial here. Maybe it is, it's not. So the videos that I have made one about the Galaxy 4 and the Adidas shoe. That one is it is absolutely horrendous. It is an awful shoe. It feels dead. I still achieved in that shoe a sub 25k. Again, I will always advocate this, is that the shoe doesn't necessarily make you fast, but you got to enjoy the run, and you can run fast and still enjoy the sensation of the shoe. I just simply do not enjoy this shoe, and I've given it chance after chance after chance. So I'm going to actually retire the Vaporfly 2 because I can't. I just cannot keep putting this on my foot. And the worst part about it for me is this is a £200 shoe, and I think it's a disaster of a shoe. For £200, for me, every time I see this shoe, it's like I'm just like, I can't, because it's £200. I've persevered and persevered, but I just can't get on with this shoe. So I ask, what are the shoes that you bought that maybe you thought were going to be this amazing super shoe, or just this amazing shoe that you heard of and you bought it, and it doesn't really matter about the price, but the higher price would be quite cool to hear. And then you just don't get on with the shoe, and then you keep it around because you're like, I've paid like £150 for that shoe, or I've paid £280, and you're just like, I just can't get on with this shoe. So again, I'd be quite interested to hear about your shoes that you've paid a lot of money for, that you just like, I just can't. So Vaporfly 2 for me is getting retired, and not in a good way. I'm gonna put it back in a box. I'm gonna basically put it to bed, and it's not going to see the light of day again. I'm just not a biggest fan of it, so I apologise. So, Vaporfly 2. So this Hoka This week I made a video about the Hoka, and I absolutely love the Hoka. It's very pricey, 220 quid. Again, I didn't pay that. I had a voucher for the shoe, so I got it at 110 pounds, and it's just an absolute steal, absolute bargain. And I love the shoe. I think it's great. It's not my favorite shoe of all time. My favorite shoe of all time is there, which is the Alpha Fly. I absolutely love that shoe. The temptation to bring that out to run it again. I think that's come to the sort of end of its life. I think it could still do a race, but I kind of don't want to. I want to try something else. Or the temptation to run the Adizero Boston 11. I think this thing looks absolutely gorgeous. I think this thing is a stunning shoe. So considering I'm not fit enough to achieve the time that I want to achieve, I'm going to run it kind of as a bit of a just to train and have a bit of a laugh. So I'd be more than willing if you want to make a suggestion as to what shoes you think that I should use. If you go back over the videos, and other than the Galaxy 4, I'm just telling you right now, I'm not going to do a half in that shoe because it will just kill my legs, and I need to walk around. So I'm not going to wear that shoe because that's blinking horrendous, that shoe. So I could leave it up to you guys if you want to pick a shoe. So do I run it in the Hoka? Do I run the half in the Hoka Rocket X2? Do I run half in the Adizero Boston 11? Do I run it in the Solarboost? Are there any shoes? I'm not doing it in the Vaporfly 2 because I could have that as an option. Maybe if you want to see me cry, then I could offer that up as an option. But if there's anything up there other than that Hoka down there, that edge is absolutely disgraceful. I'm not a massive fan of that edge. But if there's any shoe, so I've got a Endorphin Pro 3. There's a Fast R up there. There's a Mizuno Wave Rebellion as well. So I'd be more than happy for you guys to pick my shoe and let's see a time. So I'd be more happy to run it in whatever shoe you guys pick. So feel free to comment and tell me if you want me to run it in a particular shoe. There's tons of shoes around. Yeah, just please feel free to let me know. I don't want it to be this. You more happy do it in the Alpha Fly. So please just let me know what you want me to run in. Please let it be the Hoka. So what else do I have on the agenda? So I also have on the agenda some shoes that I would like to give away. So I have 2 pairs of shoes that nobody seems to want, and I want to give them away for free. So there's 2 parts to this. So number 1 is if you want to suggest a pair of trainers that you'd like, then let me know and I can pick one. Most interesting pair. I'd like to try to get the person the most interesting pair actually, to see if you've got your imaginations on and what kind of shoe you'd like to get that you think would be hard for me to get for you. So that'd be quite cool to try to trace that down and obviously make it a real shoe, of course. And I'll more happily pick somebody to win a pair of shoes. So all you've got to do is give this a like and let me know, and who knows. So the first pair of shoes I'm trying to give away, and these are some of my favorites. So they're Puma. They are small, so if you've got small feet, it's Mother's Day tomorrow, so you can win them for your mum, you can win them for your sister, you can win them for, and again, if you've got small feet, if you're a guy, then that's fine. There's nothing wrong with small feet. You know what they say, small feet, small shoes. So I've got, and these are quite a good pair of shoes actually. So Puma Deviate Elite. So these are the elite pair. They are quite small. They're 3.5 UK 3.5, which means they are a UK 3.5, US size 6. So anybody wants them, and these are a cracking shoe, by the way. These are an absolute beast of a shoe. I've got a black pair, and I love them. That elite foam in this Puma shoe is absolutely fantastic. It's such a good foam in this shoe. The upper really is really nice. It's really thin. This again. This upper are actually very similar to the Hoka. I think that's why I like this upper. It's very similar to the Hoka upper, and it works extremely well. So all you've got to do, someone's in the live chat now or the stream, first person to tell me who they are can have them. Or if you respond after when the video goes live, then you can have them, and I will happily send them to you. So comment, and you can basically win this pair of shoes for free. You don't have to do anything. You just got to tell me who you are, and I will send them to you. So that's the first pair of shoes. Second pair, nobody seems to want, but I think they're quite a good option actually. And I think these are a size 8. So I don't know what US size that is. US 8, is that 9, 10? Are this just pair of Ultra Boost? So these are Ultra Boost 21 or 22s. I think they're 21s. Very similar to the Solarboost, actually. So this is in the Solarboost is Boost Light with Solarboost, this orange stuff in there, and this Ultra Boost is basically just a beast of boost in there. So I've purposely not worn these. So I got these as well from the outlet, and I always plan to give these away to somebody. These are a size 8 and a US 8.5. Interestingly enough, so again, this is just like a boot-like construction in the shoe, and it is basically just a long-run shoe. So very similar outsoles on these shoes as well. Actually, very similar outsoles, very similar shoes, and I think these retail at about 100. Again, these are about 130, 140 pounds. I didn't pay that for the shoe, but somebody wants to win these shoes. Again, just comment, let me know who you are, and we can arrange for these to be sent to you. These are quite heavy shoes actually, and to let you know how good these are, when I did my very first half marathon, somebody who came 4th or 5th and the time of 1:16 was actually wore a pair of these. So these are quite heavy, but I tell you what, these seem quite fast. So if nobody wants them and comes back to me, I'm going to try these out. But I really want to give these away. I bought these for the purpose of giving them away to somebody. So if you're a size 8 or you know somebody that's a size 8, again, comment and you can win these Adidas Boost 22s. And that's pretty much the live show for tonight, was to unbox the shoes. So hopefully over the next couple of weeks, let me know what you want to see. And hopefully I can get you some more interesting stuff to unbox and see. Lots of videos on the way and planned. This channel ultimately is, as much as I love shoes and I love to run, the stammering aspect behind it is the number one aspect for me, and I'll probably talk about this every time, probably towards the end. And stammering is really important, there. And again, you can hear me say this constantly over and over and over and over again. There are 80 million people in the world that stammer, and the associated mental health that goes with that as well. People find it really difficult, and unless it's something that you do, and it's something that you understand, when you have a stammer and your biggest fear is speaking, and just because maybe somebody comes across like they don't, it's not something that I do all of the time, but the anxiety is still there, and the fear of it is quite real. There are people who who have hidden this away, and people shouldn't have to hide this away. There are people who will never overcome this, and people who will spend their whole life not being able to talk and being able to express themselves, which is really, really quite sad. So, if you want to do anything, if you want to support the channel, please like, favorite, and subscribe, because it does really help, and it really helps the channel get the message of stammering, mental health out there as well. I've been through some stuff, so I completely understand all the mental health, as well. So this is a platform that I've made, that the design of it is to be inclusive. It's to everyone can be here. Even if your comments are not always quite correct, if you want to understand more about the stammering, you want to understand more about that kind of stuff, or you need help, this is the place to do it. And I'm happy to answer any questions on shoes, on stammering. If you have any questions about anything at all, I'm more than happy to try and answer the questions. I've been into the gym, and I've been around health and exercise my whole life, so I've probably been done, tried, forgotten more things than a lot of people. So any questions about that, and again, I'm more than happy to listen and answer your questions. So on that note, please don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. This is Stammer Run with me, John. And again, before I forget, I'd like to absolutely thank everybody, because we are up to, I think we're up to 33,000. I'm just going to quickly check, because we are up to about 33,000 subscribers, which is absolutely mental. And I just want to thank everybody who subscribed and continue to subscribe. You're making this channel really quite big. So we're currently at 33,609, which is it's unbelievable. And the more you interact with the channel, the more that I can do, the more I can get out of this place, make it bigger, and do more things that you want to see. So all I can say is absolutely thank you. 33,609. That's 33,609 thank yous. Engagement wise, we've had 20 million, I think. So 20 million people have seen or enacted, or interacted with this stuff, which is absolutely crazy. I cannot thank you enough. This channel is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I'd love to do some more live things. So all I can say is thank you again. Please don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you and good night.